Good morning and welcome to the Explicit Measures podcast. Thank you for this bumpy ride as we get it going this morning. We are always fighting the streaming. You know, whenever you do a live demo, it's just harder. So we're just
the Grinch is trying to steal our Christmas show.
exactly.
I know.
He's not going to prevail.
My stream feed woke up this morning, and when I go on the stream feed, it said red, and I'm like, oh, well, it's Christmas, but you know, that's not what I want to see. I want to see nice green, strong signals. So sorry about those who have been jumping around, make you hop around the internet a bit. Find us on YouTube. For these kind of weirdo things, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and just in case, you'll at least be able to catch it. And if we have to restart the stream, you'll be able to see that there on YouTube. We'll still
Also follow me on Twitter because I'm usually the one frantically
tweeting out new links.
Link. That's all I do. It's not that. Go over here.
Quick.
Follow me.
Look up here. YouTube. Look up here. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. We're going to kick off today. Today is our Secret Santa. And hopefully I spelled the title right because I was typing fervently to get it in here, and it's not, and it missed the R or something like that.
Feverishly. I
was angry this morning.
Yeah, Festivus for the rest of us.
Exactly.
Nice job, Kevin.
Excellent. So let's talk through some Christmas traditions. Like, what are some things that you guys do around Christmas time, other than work on Power BI when you don't have to do real work?
Seth, I'll let you go.
Yeah, Seth, kick us off. Give us some family things that you do.
What are some family?
Oh boy! All right, Tommy. What do you do on Christmas?
To start with me.
All right. So let's get cut off the New Year. So my favorite, the thing that's always been in my household from being a kid that we are continuing is the old Italian tradition, the Feast of the Seven Fishes. So for anyone who's listening and in deeply Southern Italian, a very common tradition is basically on Christmas Eve, you make 7 fishes. And no one really knows it's for the 7 sorrows or the 7 sacraments. It doesn't matter. It's a Catholic Italian thing. And basically it's a very frantic thing because anyone who's made fish before, you can't prep it really beforehand. So half the fun is the 2 hours leading up to dinner of just literally, it feels like one of the chef movies. You're like, no, get the shrimp, put it in fryer. Okay, no, don't let that burn. The calamari, because everything needs to be perfect. And that's literally for 2 hours in our house is just yelling. My wife
that does sound very Italian.
That's not normal.
Yeah. But so my wife's obviously on board, but she's always every year she still asks, like, can't you prep a few days? Like,
can we do like 3 fish?
Yeah, she always tries that and I just look at her like
7.
Try again.
It's 7.
Yeah. And but she was like, how much earlier can you prep? I'm like 2 hours before. And that's it. So we're making shrimp scampi, scallops, baked mussels, fried calamari, fried shrimp, octopus salad, clams, and crab legs.
Wow.
So yeah. And it's just a crazy, beautiful, wonderful time. And yeah, that will always be in the house kind of thing. And then like Christmas Day becomes like a hangover day because of how tired you are. Yeah. How tired you are from the fish and just from making it. But it is my favorite thing.
It's the fish that gives you the hangover. Huh?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Not that eggnog.
And then the lasagna on Christmas Day and Zeppelis. So yeah, full on kind of thing. But yeah, it is by far.
I mean, you're not slouching it. I mean, and I know Tommy's making homemade lasagna. I mean,
it's already in the freezer. I made that 2 weeks early.
Oh wow!
In the freezer, I can't do that and the fish.
I was gonna say you're gonna be tired out if you have to make a whole lasagna and all the fish.
We gotta take the lasagna out tomorrow. But anyways, so that is basically the tradition. So anyone's welcome to come over. I'll give the address. Message me. So
awesome. Seth, do you have any kind of Christmas tradition things that you guys do?
Yeah, we have I wouldn't say competing traditions, but my wife's from the Czech Republic, so like first gen came over.
Oh, nice.
For school, and
strong.
Her parents were thrilled that I kept her here. Speaking of which, they're actually here and have been for the last 3 weeks or so. So looking forward to the fact that we get to celebrate the
big
holiday.
Christmas this year.
Yeah,
it's a big one. But anyway, like we don't do this every year, but they have a really unique tradition that I was not aware of. which is every Christmas they do carp. And like around here, like the first time she told me this, I was like, no, we don't. But apparently, like they have farms and they raise them. And like back in the day when she was growing up, they would stick it in the bathtub and let it like stay in the water
With
for
salt.
like 4 or 5 days before,
Yes.
Wow.
and then clean it all out.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, there was one year we did it, and the only reason it was like 1 year is because the process to clean and get this thing done and then eat, like the flavor is phenomenal, but they have like bones upon bones, like Y bones that get stuck. So it's like
Yeah.
it's this thing where you eat like this small nibble, and then you're just like chewing for like 5 minutes, making sure there's
Yeah.
no Y bone that
Yeah.
can get stuck in your
Yeah.
throat. And then
Yep.
you're like, wow, that's amazing. So like it's an ordeal, but it's fun.
Everyone's
so
going, everyone the meal is going and trying to spit out of the bones.
Periodically we bring that one back in, but typically,
That's
we're
hilarious.
like Tommy, we're Eve folks, so we typically do most of the stuff on Christmas Eve, and we don't do the big single dinner thing, right? We've always done hors d'oeuvres, or
Yep.
just little things that are like all laid out on the table, and you just snack all night long. And like, but I'm a big seafood guy, so I do. It's all the stuff you don't get during the year. So it's a mix of, depending on the feeling and how much cooking you want to do, crab, shrimp, meatballs, the charcuterie, all that kind of stuff. So just relax. And then we started, once we had kids, we started the Christmas pajama tradition.
Oh.
So we do we're those folks that all wear the same Christmas pajamas.
We're gonna need a picture.
We need pictures.
We didn't get new ones this year. Just I think because last year's were so cool.
Oh, you get ones every year?
Oh, we typically would, yeah. But they're like the ones we haven't moved off of all have like we look like polar bears. So that the hoodies have like the thing.
Nice.
I'll send you guys.
Okay, send us. This is picture worthy. Yeah, even if it's last year, it's fine.
Private message, probably.
Right.
Yeah. That's
what about
awesome.
you, Mike?
So it's funny that you guys mentioned those kind of things, because we kind of have a tradition of both of those, believe it or not. We had we would go to the Christmas Eve service at our church, and then on we would have, in the evening, we would do this thing called pick plate. So no one really wanted to cook like a big meal at the end of after that, and it was like hors d'oeuvres or like things you would just go get. And my dad would make bacon wrapped water chestnuts, which was yummy. Yeah, really good. And so we would just hang out at home right before Christmas Eve, and we'd have like a pick plate, and we would have these just food that you could hang out, kind of graze on food, and then we'd watch some shows or hang out as a family, just kind of relax and take it easy. So that was one of our traditions. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy like pick plate kind of things with more family. So now it's our family, my wife's family, both of her brothers are in the area, and my family now is all here within like 5 minutes. So we have everyone's here. So things have had to change a little bit with everyone being here so much. So getting to the right house at the right time is now be a bit more challenging now. But and then we also do the kids, not the adults, but the kids do like all the grandkids. So from Kelly's side, her parents do like get everyone like pajamas, and so everyone gets like the same. All the grandkids get the same set of pajamas.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now we have these pictures of grandkids with all the same kinds of pajamas. Nothing like polar bear. They're just like all the same. It's hard finding like
you're missing out.
Yeah,
you got to plan ahead. That's the other
you
thing
do. These things do not hang around.
If you coordinate.
Yeah,
small windows of time, man.
Well, and it gets harder the larger age span that is in the family. So if the age span gets farther apart, you've got to get big kid pajamas, and you got to get like baby, like little kid pajamas. So to get everyone to match, it gets harder because you have to have every size all the way up. So it gets a little bit more challenging there too. So, anyways, I'll add one more thing. My favorite, probably my most favorite thing. It's not Christmas unless I'm sitting around building some kind of Lego set. I feel like that was like a thing. I just absolutely loved the Lego. Like I just thoroughly enjoyed them. So that was one. I just remember Christmas Day. And now what I do, I just buy my own Lego sets and I gift them to myself on Christmas. So I get a Lego set on Christmas.
You know what you're getting this year?
I know,
Mike?
I know what I'm getting. I've got like 3 boxes.
Can't wait to see what Santa brings. I gotta ask two quick questions on this. favorite movie growing up, Christmas movie, or
Ooh.
that you still watch today, and then your favorite like cookie or dessert kind of thing.
That's a great
And then
question.
we'll actually go into Power BI.
I'm gonna say favorite movie right now. I liked some of the old. When I was younger, there wasn't really like a favorite movie, which is kind of like, oh, there's just a bunch of movies. But I really like Elf. I think Elf is just hilarious. I think Elf's a good movie. So that's probably one of my favorite Christmas movies. That's been out for a while,
Yeah.
but it wasn't out when I was a kid. So that would probably be my favorite movie. A cookie, favorite cookie. That's a good question. I don't know if I have a favorite Christmas cookie. Maybe like the
Or
ones,
dessert.
maybe like
Yeah.
the little round cookie that has you stick a little Hershey's mint in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah.
Those are
I
pretty
think I know what
good.
you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Tommy, which ones are yours?
So it's really all the kids right now, but like my personal favorite's probably the Grinch, the Jim
Ooh.
Carrey Grinch, which
Oh,
I
the
can't
Jim.
watch
Yeah,
with the
because you
kids.
got to
love
specify
that
which
shit.
Grinch.
Yeah,
I love that one.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
But I can't watch it with the kids because they said Lars,
Yeah.
my oldest was like, I don't want to watch the real one. I'm like, the real one? She's like, I want to watch the cartoon.
Yeah, no, I
or
get
the
it.
fake one. I was
Yeah.
like- so, but we're watching with them. I think it's got to be Charlie Brown. I mean, you watch that, you go, there it is. Yeah. The Charlie Brown Christmas, and then the
Yeah.
cookie. It's honestly not the best tasting cookie, but when I eat it, it tastes like Christmas to me. It's called, for those again Italians out there, it's called a pizzelle.
Pizzelles.
Pizzelles, yeah.
So
They're like,
good.
if you had one, you want to go, this is the best cookie of all
Yep.
time. It's
Yep.
okay.
My aunt would
But
make
it's
those
just-
for
it's-
us.
Yeah, yeah.
She'd make them and we'd give them. Yeah, that's that.
It's a
Whatever
wafer with
you
powdered
mean is
sugar,
not the
yeah.
best tasting. It's great tasting. What are you
It's
talking
a
about?
great taste.
Yeah, it's a great tasting cookie.
But you eat it, you go, that's
Yep,
Christmas
that's
time,
good.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
So
I'm with that
those
one.
those are my things.
I like that one.
I'm a big fan of the Grinch too, the Jim Carrey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
But if you're gonna force me to watch a Christmas movie, it's the Christmas Story. It's
Oh, that's
Red Ryder
just
BB
the
gun.
the Red Ryder BB gun, man.
Yeah.
Like my kids are gonna watch it, and when they get back to school, they're gonna say, "Hey, watch the Christmas Story," and the other kid's gonna be like, "You
The
watched
Christmas
what?
what?
From
Yeah.
when?
Yeah.
Like
How old is that?
1960,
Yeah.
70, whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And
Still
then,
plays.
but I am looking forward to this year. So, like I said, my in-laws are here, till the 28th. So we have like, I think 4 days still where I'm taking off, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna binge watch some of those the series movies that I haven't caught all of. Right, I have not seen all of the Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
I've
my
not seen
goodness.
all of Harry Potter.
Start with Lord of
Yeah.
the Rings.
Yeah,
My
Lord
wife-
of
yeah,
the Rings
yeah.
is long. You got to like you
So
start that one
I
at like
think I've
in the
seen
morning.
The first one, but like the second and third, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
you know,
are you gonna start from the beginning and watch them all the
Oh,
way
yeah.
through?
like, I mean, is there any other way to do it?
I'm just making sure because
I
you
think
haven't
you have
watched them
to.
all. I just didn't know if you're gonna pick up
Yeah.
like what you haven't seen
Yeah,
and go
well,
on.
I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna be in the basement. My wife will be used to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what
Is
happens
Seth,
every
is
day.
Seth still working or is he just watching TV now?
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
So what cookie are you eating with that? Or
Um,
dessert?
My wife. So one of the traditions that we do every year with the Czech Republic is she makes homemade gingerbreads, and they have all the shapes. And then I swear she's super talented with like the crafty kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
it must be a Czech thing because her mom's just as good. They do these like super intricate frosting things on the gingerbreads.
Amazing.
So like you have star and mushroom
Yeah.
and like all these shapes, houses, and like there's the traditional patterns that go on all these
Oh,
cookies
cool.
Oh,
and
I'm
stuff,
sure
and,
like
it is
ridiculous.
oh
Yeah.
dude, it's nuts. So
Yeah.
they
That
make
sounds
those
really
every
good.
year, and I love them. And then my favorite cookie she makes is, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a coconut puff, kind of puffed cookie that is
Ooh.
just
Starving.
Would it be like a
super
ginger?
good.
Would it be the equivalent of like what are those coconut ones that come from
Oh.
the ginger ginger scouts? I'm trying to say ginger scouts, Girl Scouts, or something like that. Remember, you know the ones? Is it like that
don't
one?
know.
No caramel on it.
They're
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Much more like less sugary,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of the pastries and things that come out of Central Europe are like when you taste pastries when you go to Europe
Real
and
pastries.
then come back to the United States,
You're like, we're doing it all wrong.
Did somebody dump 5 pounds of sugar into this thing? Because like,
Yes.
oh my god,
Yes.
yeah, yes, they did. Yes.
When we went to Denmark, my
The
wife was
sweetness levels are drastically different.
Kelly was raving over the pastries over there, and we could not get enough of them. They were incredible. Way different than anything I've ever had in the U.S. It was so good.
I'm so hungry. Well, so you guys both have family, and this is the first year we don't. And every time for Christmas, I can hear my grandfather. He used to say, he's like, Guests are like fish. They starts to smell in 3 days. It goes bad in 3 days. But I'm glad. Yeah. Well, I'm glad everyone has family. And for all those listening, if you're with your family, whoever you're with, we're excited. Thanks for joining in. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
All 2 of you, thank you for joining us, and appreciate you
I
jumping
think
on the
it's
call.
just me and Steph that's watching.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of people. I want to shout out Kevin Arnold. I did the same thing to my wife. I said, we're going to watch a new Christmas movie this year. This was years ago. She's like, I'm like, it's a classic Christmas movie. She's like, what is it? I'm like, it's called Die Hard.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
She's like, that does not sound like Christmas. I'm like, once you watch it, you
You
will.
will- you will
is
understand.
Christmas.
You will
It
understand.
is.
That's good. That's good. Awesome. Well, so this episode is actually our Secret Santa episode. So let's explain some of the rules of the game, I guess we'll play here. We're going to play a little bit of game here. So the idea is each one of us have prepared 2 gifts for each person. So I prepared 2 gifts for Tommy. I've prepared 2 gifts for Seth. And these are Power BI gifts that we're giving out. And these are things that we think that they will like, or they may not, but we're going to gift them something. And so I'm going to give the gift, and then I'm going to explain what it is. And then Tommy or Seth has the opportunity to like the gift, use the gift, or re-gift it. So you could either like it, use it, or re-gift it. So that's going to be kind of our premise here as we go through the podcast. So I say we kick it over. Does everyone understand the rules? I guess we'll just be clear on that one.
Sure. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Sort of.
As I like to say in meetings.
Like every episode, let's see how it goes.
Exactly. Exactly. As I like to say, clear as mud. So we'll go there. All right, Tommy. Let's let you kick it off. All right, you can go ahead. Let's just do one round of one gift first,
Okay.
and then we'll do another round of the second gift. So
Okay.
that way we can at least stretch this out for a full hour.
So since you introduced Mike, I'm going to start with you.
All right.
And this is phenomenal. This is Tabular Editor 4 coming out. Yeah.
I'm already digging it.
Yeah.
Like it.
So this thing is jammed packed kind of thing.
Okay. So
Blows your mind.
Okay, I'm
You're
closing my
already
eyes.
uninstalling Tabular Editor 3.
Already installed. It's just in the
That's
trash.
C-script intelligence.
Ooh.
So you can
yeah.
write and also pull just like DAX,
C-script. Love it.
just like the DAX editor.
Yep.
You can actually, or DAX Studio, you can pull in functions and understand what those functions do for all the C scripts. So if you're not sure even what to write, you have that available for you.
Yep.
Kind of thing like, oh, I need the object, I need the measures, I need for selected. So all that's available. There's also a C script gallery
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yep.
So you can pull within.
Which would pull
There's
directly from the Power BI tips,
yes,
Power
exactly,
Editor scripts
exactly,
gallery, right? Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Good. Okay. Good.
But it
Phew.
looks like, yes, exactly. That's brought to you by Power BI tips. A lot of this is actually brought to you by Power BI tips.
Yes.
There's also, no, I'll tell that one later. There's automated macros. So compared to
Okay.
C scripts, there's basically things you can set up where you can run certain things like create these measures,
Yep.
pull into the display folder, but also do certain things like relationships that you want to build that you can already pre-configure.
I like it.
There's a visual designer where you can actually kind of modify the visual side of the Power BI report itself as well. So not just the model, but now we're getting the report.
Oh
but
man.
the best part of
wait.
this,
So let me just clarify here. Visual designer means I'm basically modifying my thin report or the report itself. Stuff
right.
on the
Right. So if you need to move something over, it's a little limited because of some of my other gifts. So I'm not gonna. That's for Tablet Editor 5.
Are you rebuilding the Power BI desktop?
No. But the last big part of Tablet Editor 4, plugins, third-party plugins. So I don't even know what's available out here, but they can work as macros. But there's a whole plugin thing just like Visual Studio Code.
Oh yeah.
That's in Tablet Editor 4. You can do your themes, whatever people can think of that works with the API. That will build over the next few months, kind of thing.
Nice.
So I see how this is going to go already. You know, this is going to be just like any other gift giving thing where you have those folks who just went to the store and bought a gift card. And those that spent months thinking about and planning like the best gifts. I'm not saying who exactly is going to fall into, these
exactly.
but it may happen.
Where's the Italian actual tradition is cash. Like that's your Christmas.
I love it.
But this is Power BI. So
well, what do you think your gift, Mike?
Yeah.
So do I go next? Am I gifting mine?
No, I want to know what you think about the gift.
I like it and I'll use it. It's solid. I
Okay.
think I love. Tommy knows. You guys have heard the podcast. I absolutely love Tabular Editor 3. I think it's rock solid. The design team, Daniel, has done an amazing job building it out. It saves me oodles of time. And if you don't know about it, you got to go get it or play around with
Yeah.
it a little bit. It's super helpful. So
If you're in the live chat, this will actually be a little fun. Let us know if you want to like it, use it, or regift it.
yeah, that's just a great
there
idea.
you go.
Yeah, so
So-
now let's get some collaboration.
All
Everyone's
right.
part of this.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right. So my first gift so far. So Mike, now how do we? What's the order? Am I going to go for Seth? or
I'd
we're
say
gonna
yeah.
rotate?
You go ahead and go and give
Okay.
Seth your gift, and then I'll
Okay.
go next.
So mine's another tool. It's a new tool, Seth. It's called the Rule Stick for Power BI. So this is going to solve a lot of your problems. One, it auto aligns and it's basically a plugin like a Tableau editor kind of thing that basically allows you to auto align and create aligned settings for any Power BI report. So if you basically want to auto align everything based on a pre-configuration packages, you can have configuration packages for things to be on top, for the width that you like to the sides, and basically click one button and the entire page or report is auto aligned. You can actually
Wait, hold on, pause me right here.
Yeah.
You see Seth's face right now? This is him hating his gifts that he got us because he's like, I love my gift I'm getting right now.
No. That's it's making me think. It's making me think about like other things we should be recommending.
Just so you know, I'll
So,
take cash.
go
So
I'll take
I
the
like
cash.
this. I like this so far.
This is a box of $40 for Tommy.
you can also, to our previous episode, you can measure by the decimal. So yeah, so if you want it 480.3, you can do that and also set your configuration like that. And the same way you have, like, again, auto line settings. So if you want this report to be align settings 2, everything aligns that way. And that includes basically things where you can set the boundaries and the width between visuals. So not just align, but saying, I want everything to start at X15 and I want everything to be within that. Not only that, but the best part of this that I already paid for with the gift, this is a add-on to the Rule Stick, is you can actually flag alignment issues within your entire tenant.
Oh,
So
man.
now you can get to everyone saying where are there align issues that either do not confine with your package or just do not have alignment issues. So you can reach out to those people.
I like the flagging of a report. Dude, that's huge.
Not your gift. Too bad.
Oh, I'm stealing Seth's gift and running away.
Like it. No, I like this a lot. The reason I was pausing and giving weird looks is we've always thought about like in controlling themes and the properties of everything that you do. But what you're describing would be like pre-configured placement and sizing of objects on the page, as opposed to where we've thought storing a PNG or something that would just be applied. I like that, Tommy.
Right.
And it certainly scratches my almost OCD itch of alignment and things. Thank you, Tommy.
Brought to you by Power BI Tips.
Yep, exactly. Sponsored by Power BI Tips on that one. So Seth, so your question here is, do you like it? Do you use it?
Like it.
And are you going to, like, I guess, what's the last one? Oh, you're not going to regift it.
Or would I regift it? No,
Yeah.
I like it, and I would definitely use it. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Thanks, Tommy.
No problem. Happy to sponsor that one.
Now, I think I go.
All right.
Yeah.
Just because there needs to be a shining example of what
not to do
the gift is,
Okay.
like that Tommy gave, and then the potential crash and burn. So Mike, you can bring it back.
Did you make a homemade card for me here? Is that something that
I did. My gift.
I owe you.
I'm gonna go with Tommy. And actually, I think my good gift might be just to Tommy, because Tommy's like put a lot of thought into these new tools. Because I would create a tool for Tommy.
Okay.
In the service, and we would call it something like the feedback loop, where you take the usage metrics of what's happening, in the reports, and you run those through all of the algorithms that are out there that are already, collecting this information, and allow people to rate reports. It'll have automated surveys of like what things they're the insights and things they're getting, or challenges that they're having.
I like automated surveys,
and allow people to make requests through this feedback loop that would have its own dashboard within the
Yeah.
service that would let those areas of the business that control like the vast majority of usage and whatnot
Yep.
have an actual
Yeah.
interface
I can see
to
it. I can see it.
know and understand the ecosystem and whether or not the reports are being utilized the way you would want them to be.
That's a solid gift.
That's a phenomenal. You
So
basically did
it
the
would
thing.
see
You're
them
like,
all.
I didn't really think of a gift that got you a new car. Like,
Who
no,
does that? Who actually gets a car for Christmas? Like,
I know,
I'm just
right?
gonna on a whim buy a
Seriously.
$30,000 car, just give it to
But
you. Like, come
it
on.
has to work because they've been doing those car commercials for 25
No,
years.
no, it doesn't work. They just
Well,
keep doing the car commercials because they just keep thinking that everyone needs to go out and buy a new car at Christmas time. That's bogus.
With Seth, I can as you were talking, I could see it. I could see exactly what this was, and I need this. So I am absolutely liking it, loving it, and using it. Like I can actually, I can see it in the tenant, like under the admin settings. We're gonna be just like send out a survey or see the survey results or send out like NPS, and that combined with usage. I mean, that's one of those. How is that not out there? Oh my gosh! So thank you so much. That is a phenomenal gift
You
that
bet.
I'm imagining in my head.
That's what I give you. Now we go to Mike.
Oh.
All right. All right, you ready for this one?
So
I'm gonna go ahead.
oh no, I give you a gift, Mike.
Oh,
and it's
sorry.
not going to be
Yeah.
nearly as cool.
All right, hit me.
We've kind of talked about this one already.
Okay.
It's natural language DAX, of course.
Oh, you idiot.
I'm kidding.
Regift.
Let's return to sender.
I would give something that, since I've known you longer, we've talked about. I would give you the gift of fully controllable themes, both in the desktop and the service. So you could jack around to your heart's content related to like things that have been deployed, reports that have been out there, overrides, the whole 9 yards in an automatable fashion. You know, you build your theme, you can apply that puppy wherever you want and however you want.
See, that's yeah. I like that one.
That's the gift of time.
I like it a lot. Yeah, I think I would definitely use that one. That's for sure in my list there. I love that one a lot. Global themes, I think, would be a good time saver in general. I get not burnt on it, but I'm just like, there's so much time spent clicking properties and settings and visuals. There's just got to be a faster way of doing it and be able to set a standard of one that you could just use everywhere. Like it just feels like it needs to be better. That experience needs to be better in general. Cool. Excellent.
So, what are you doing with it? You liking it?
Oh,
using it?
I'm definitely using it. Yeah, that's a use it one for sure. And then hopefully it'll be landed on PowerBITips.com, and we'll just
all of these are brought to you by Power BI Tips.
Well, we know I have a week off to build all this stuff.
Right. I'm going to formulate these ideas further.
2022, baby.
All right. If you are a developer, a senior developer, and you have nothing to do for a whole week, call me. Hit me up. We will build things.
If you hate sleep,
yes. If you hate sleep, and you love Power BI, and you're
you
an
have
amazing
insomnia, call Mike Carlo.
Call me. I got some stuff for you to do. Awesome. So let me. I'll start teeing up some of my gifts here. So, it's interesting. So I'll start off with Tommy's gift. So Seth, it's interesting that you had made the gifts that you guys were giving. So I liked your I guess it would be from. I guess it's kind of a combination of gifts here actually. So I'm giving to Tommy. I'm going to call it Master Themes. So Tommy was like, themes are good. I use them. They're easy to consume. So I was thinking like, okay, this is like a globally apply themes or have a library of themes that are sitting on the Power BI tenant, right? You can they're just there. You build them. They're there. They're available to pick from. You're in your Power BI report. You're building your report. And then you can see this little list of here's my global themes, and you can pick the global theme, and it can be a global theme that themes a lot of various objects. So it has master properties that go across all visuals, like turn off the title bar off, or it's globally there.
Yeah.
And then it also goes down to like, hey, I've got individual theme styles. So I'm now talking about like the bar chart or the line chart. And so Tommy has already styled those for his company, and there's a couple options you can pick, and you just kind of like pick from the list. Here's the here's theme option 1 for bar charts, and the you build it in your desktop, it's done, and you're almost never touching the properties. There may be some tweaks there you make just for the report or whatever, but you now have a kind of a library that
Yeah.
is globally available, and then when Tommy updates those global properties by name, they automatically update in any reports that are using the default settings. So I think, Seth, global themes was like what you gave me. I feel like this is very similar to the option, but I'm kind of like centralizing it in the service, and then it can then get pulled down to anyone, anywhere.
Well,
from
that's
there.
going to save time now doing my center titles since everyone apparently likes that better.
Well, I thought that was very interesting because we threw out the survey, and we had like a 4-to-1. So if, for those of you who are not following the last episode, we sent out a survey and Tommy said, hey, I don't know, but I left justify my titles, but I lighten them up a little bit. And he said, what if I wanted to center them? Like, what's better? What do people like to read easier? So I put a little survey together of a visual with a left title, a visual with a middle title, with the color lightened just slightly, and sent out the survey. And we had literally 4-to-1. 4 out of 5 people preferred the center justified title versus the left justified, which was interesting to me.
Yeah, but now I have to go through every desktop file, update a theme file.
Not with global,
not with global themes.
not with master themes. You know,
not with master themes.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Power Tips.
Trademark by Power BI.
Yeah, I am absolutely liking that, and I'm definitely using that, and I'm also making sure that everyone in my tenant uses that. So,
exactly. Well, you don't have to. You just do it, and it makes it easier for people to build things, right?
I fear there may be some definite errors, like if people had their own themes or overwritten something, so I'd have to take a look at that.
Yep.
But I'm definitely making sure that's part of it. Could you do it? Well, I know you can say yes since it's not real, but can you also specify by the app level?
No, it wouldn't apply to apps. Just kidding. I'm just joking.
Okay.
It's not even real. Yes, you can apply it to apps.
I was about to say, like,
oh, I don't want to.
Sure.
No, I don't want to know. I'm gonna forget to know.
Like, sure, Tommy.
Sure, yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got unlimited time and budget and money. No
Every
problem.
time you look at it, it gives you 50.
I got 100 developers just waiting around to build this for you.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Mike. I'm absolutely liking it. I'm definitely using it.
All right, awesome, good. So this is now for Seth. So for Seth, this is a bit more obscure item here, and I think this is a pain point that you've seen in the service so far. And I'm calling this one partition magic. Okay. So this is partition magic. You have an increment. I'm going to set the stage here for you. You have an incrementally refreshing report, right? You've set it up. You've already spent time loading months and months of large data into the model. All right. You're ready to implement a change to that data model. You're going to add something to the table. You're going to modify a relationship, something structural to that, right? But you're building in Power BI Desktop. So if you republish that Power BI file, the PBIX file, into the service, you basically blow away all the partitions. Now, there are other tools like ALM Toolkit that I'm just learning about, which, by the way, for those of you who are doing incremental refresh, do a bit more homework around ALM Toolkit. I'm still learning it. Apparently, you can make some of these changes with ALM Toolkit and not blow away your partitions. I got to put my head around it a bit more, but I believe that would solve some of this. But this is a partition magic. What it does is it allows you to schedule automated refreshing of all your partitions. You can have it sequence them in series, so it's not stacking them up all at once. You can, it makes an easy API where you can just go from like a logic app. You can then have it automatically refresh individual tables. Now, I believe also that was actually, I believe, a recently beta or an early release on the blog. I think there's actually some more enterprise partitioning that kind of meets some of this need. But I want all this stuff to be easy. So all this stuff is configured, built, set up. It's directly in desktop. You set the stuff that you need, and it just goes. And so when you publish a new PBIX file, it does not delete all the partitions. The program is smart enough to then understand what you changed. And if you added new columns or if you changed the data set, it just adds the columns and then says, hey, you want to refresh these data tables? How do you want to do it? And you just basically set up the pattern of how you're going to refresh, and it just behind the scenes just goes through and just refreshes stuff for you. So I'm calling it partition magic. It bundles up a lot of these pain points that we see around partitioning, loading partitions, managing them, making updates to models with the partitions in place so you don't lose your data.
Whenever I click on it, does it start singing like, oh, it's magic?
It has to.
Yeah.
It has
Every time
to.
it opens, it's loading.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I love it. love it. I would use that thing like every single
Right
day.
now. Give it to me
Yeah,
now.
man. Like, like pieces of that description, right? Like I think you and I were talking just the other night. Like the capabilities are hidden in places
Yep.
potentially, but like to put it all together into a, hey, now that you can build large models and we're supporting those things in the
Exactly.
service, like
Yeah, right.
here's this interface that lets you interact with that.
And that's one of the
Yeah.
that's one of my complaints around like what desktop is doing. Desktop is not the modeling tool I choose anymore. It is way behind the other community-based tools that are able to model things. And so I'm finding Tabular Editor is moving much faster than what desktop team is able to do for modeling. You can't do like a little bit of partitioning stuff is showing up, but like there's a whole lot more capability in refreshing. So imagine this. I just found this out yesterday. You go into Tabular Editor, you can right click on a table that you just published. Like, so there's brand new model with incremental refresh. You can right click a table and click. There's an option. I can't remember exactly the name of the option. I'm gonna botch this, but someone correct me if you know how to do this already on the chat. There's an option where you can say reload partition schema, I think is what it's called. And what it does is it builds all the partitions for you without loading the data. So you can basically publish a report, right click, reload partition schema. It will build the partitions with no data loaded, and then you can connect to it with SSMS and incrementally go through and load chunks of partitions so you don't overwhelm the system or time it out. Like that's super cool. So they're again learning all these new things about, but this is buried in some tool that's a third party. It's not in desktop.
Yeah.
Like this should just be in
Well,
desktop.
and that, right? Like all the shenanigans we go through, right? To limit the data set, like kick off a reload, make sure so the partitions get created along with that, and then go back through and like do that. So there's already steps we have to do in, in the ecosystem that, I agree. It's, you shouldn't be relying on a third party tool to handle those sorts of core things
And
for you.
I'm also of the opinion here too, like, right, some of the stuff now that we're talking about, like third party tools are great. Some of them are really strong. But for some bigger organizations, I think are no problem. Yeah, we see the value. We can get these tools, no problem. Smaller organizations, like if you're expecting a business user, like who's building an incrementally refreshing model, to go in and futz around with this stuff, I'm thinking, no, we have clearly moved into more of an IT role or a governing role of like a very much more technical piece of this.
Yeah.
This is not business user centric stuff anymore.
Here's an idea. Why doesn't Microsoft buy it?
Oh yeah, that would be a great idea.
Productionalize ALM toolkit and integrate it fully.
Well, ALM and TE, right?
Why aren't they listening to this entire podcast?
Yeah.
Shh, keep it quiet. Don't want them to know about us.
You have to whisper, and then it gets to the right people. Go buy them. Anyway, that's a good gift. That's it. Yeah.
I hope you like it. All right, let's go back around to Tommy.
All right,
second round of gifts.
I'll start with Seth this time. This is EMS, Embedded Management Studio.
Embedded Management Studio. I like these names, Tommy.
Well, I actually just changed it because Mike has really nifty names too. So, yeah. But this is basically like Squarespace for everything embedded, or like you're basically like a website. You're a content CMS tool for everything embedded. Less coding, less kind of configuring, testing, where you can do everything within this downloadable tool. The visual interface for more things. There's drag and drop, and also allows fonts, customized fonts, and more customization.
Sold.
So I should have just called it a font editor.
You should have said magic fonts.
But it's basically everywhere to test, preview, manage code, and everything from an embedded solution all in one place. So there's no making sure on the website. If you want to test it out, what it looks like where you're embedding it, you can test it out there. And everything happens all there. And it's managed. Everything from dev to prod to starting from the first time is all in the Embedded Management Studio.
I like it.
That's hot, man. Because that, I mean, embedded is one of those things where it's just, it is some of the things that they put out there as far as the, what do they call it? The playground, right? Like it's hugely helpful, but it's way like there's a hard line. Either you've gone through all of this from where we sit to the dev land, like Mike has. So he's gone through all that pain.
Yeah.
Or it's like like there's a hard cutoff, man.
Yeah.
Like you go straight dev when you're going
Yeah.
embedding because there's
There's no going
so
back.
many pieces in between here
Yes.
that stuff goes awry all the time, especially when you're trying to like apply row level security in the
Mhm.
many different ways. There's
Mhm.
just not a solid way to test things like end to end
Mhm.
and like without going through a bunch of different
Right.
places to do different things. Yeah, so love it, use it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
simplify that experience. Heck yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna steal Power Apps tagline from no code to pro code. This tool does it all.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
Oh, I like
yes,
it.
it's the real meaning of it.
I like
yeah.
your EMS.
Thank you. And for Mike, so you're definitely using it. Okay, no returns on that.
Definitely
All right.
no returns, man.
So Mike, for you, this is based on a few conversations recently, but just came out, so I was able to get it in time on Amazon. But
Whew.
it's
Amazon,
deployment
if
pipelines.
you bought anywhere else, it wouldn't gonna get there. But Amazon, they can deliver.
Yeah. Deployment pipelines all in one. So
Ooh.
this is a downloadable application, but basically it's a little similar to the Embedded Studio, but it basically allows you to do everything that you can do from deployment pipelines all in this one tool from creating. But not only that, it also allows additional features that are not available in the service. You can create pseudo workspaces. So if you need to move something, but only temporarily, or just test it out, it doesn't have to create a workspace in your tenant. It can actually be like a temporary storage space to test
Ooh.
things and for people to share. You can also create and move data sets within the tool. So you can create you can actually create your own scripts for automation as well. Just like
Yes.
using the API, but again, it's a better interface to do
I
so.
like it.
So you don't have to go to this workspace and test it. It's easier to kind of manage all your different, especially if you have more than one deployment pipeline.
Yep.
So
Yep. I like it. I have ragged on the deployment pipelines in the past, not having enough features, not doing what I want it to do. I feel like they have substantially improved a lot of that recently, and I don't know when or where it happened or like what was going on, but big improvements there, and anything more that can make that easier for me, doggone it, man. The deployment pipelines I'm working with right now, it is easy. I just work in dev. I push reports there. I move them over to QA to the UAT environment. All the data changes to what the data is in UAT, and then I kick it again over to production. Man, it's getting better, and I think this I think is another gap filler that I don't have today.
Right.
Is I potentially want a workspace with just data sets, and I want another workspace with just reports, because right now, an environment, I can't limit inside a workspace who can see what. Right, I only want you to let you to see reports. So if I have different audiences for those topics, be able to move things around programmatically and just point to GUIDs across the entire Power BI platform of what links to what, that's huge.
And I didn't even mention one of the major features is the automation side. So if you need to send out notification that there's new data available, it can do that. And automated parameters. So let's say you can set your parameters for the server. So every time it goes to dev or goes to prod, you don't have to change every data set. Automatically will say, hey, this data set is basically configured with this parameter rules. So anytime when this data set goes to prod, it uses this server name and this database name.
You know what? I think you're the second feature or the first feature you mentioned there, automation of notifications, is actually underrated. There is nothing today. Like if you push something from dev to UAT, there's possibly an email that should be sent that says this report was moved from this to this and was deployed success, and like a little green checkbox. Boop, it worked. And, hey, you hit refresh on this data set and this data set failed on this deployment pipeline or whatever. You can set up like sequence of things like, hey, deploy this new model, do a refresh, right? And then you say model deployed, refresh started, and then another little bit later you get another notification, refresh finished. There should be like a history kind of inside the deployment pipeline to tell you like what actions are going on there, so you can audit it and figure out like what's going on. I like that. That's underrated right there. You know what, Microsoft PM team, I don't know what you guys are doing on a hot Thursday morning,
on
but
Christmas,
dude, we are dropping some gold here on this show. And if you're not listening, I hope you're picking up on some of these, because these might be some good, feature design things for the future here. Awesome. I think we're over to, was it my turn now? I gotta give out some more gifts. All right, I'm gonna start with I'm gonna start with Seth. I don't think we've talked about this one yet. So this is I'm taking notes here so I have all this stuff down. So I'm gonna call this one Super Lineage. Okay. Okay.
The names are the best.
Yeah, exactly. Dumb names. So this is a tool where you just deploy things, right? You just deploy stuff into reports. You make measures. They stick to stuff. This sucker scans everything. It's like Purview Plus, right? You don't have to pay extra for it, but it's there, and it scans all of your visuals. It scans all your measures, all your filters on every report page, and it starts from the most fine-grained anything and works its way backwards up into your source systems. So imagine a whole graph all the way down from, I'm collecting data from this SQL server. It makes these tables in my Power BI data set. Those tables have these measures attached to them. Those measures are used in these visuals. These columns are used on these filters. And so everything that the report touches that is being used can be identified. And there's a simple flag that says used, not used. And you can see if it's used, all the assets of the data model that are being consumed by something, whether it's a measure that relies on another measure or whatever, it gives you all that lineage. And then it says, then it will show when you go to not used, it'll give you just the clean list of here's things that are no longer being used. And this is not just for one report. This is for every live connected report to any
Take
data
my
set.
money.
The whole thing. It gives you the full. And the idea is this: you just set it up once a day. It goes out and it just reads stuff. It just goes out. It just reads all the things and just drops it all down and builds you the lineage history of everything. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple feature.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
That's all you need.
That's the $1 million idea right there.
I mean,
right?
actually, that's what I want. So
Golly, dude.
I already
Jiminy.
gifted it to
He
myself.
bought one for me
Christmas,
too.
Mike.
I got one for me, and then I bought you one too.
Yeah, man. There a lot of the pieces are out there. Purview, right? Like does some of it. but
Close.
Can you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I need-
calling it right. Like anybody who would put those pieces together and be able to display it in a hierarchy way, like would be a billionaire.
Now I have to imagine.
I'm serious. Like
But
because like,
Purview's-
think about this though, in such a way that it's like whether it's on a day by day or like a
Mhm.
week by week thing, right? You run this thing and it rips through your system, and you automatically have a snapshot of like what's going on, what's being used, et cetera, et cetera. Like every single organization that I've ever worked for, will never spend the time to go through like my mind is all over the place because there's so many
befuddled
aspects
you.
to this. Well, there's so many aspects to it, right? Like you think.
Oh,
about
and this
all
feature
the
doesn't work
source
on premium
systems,
only. This works on pro.
All the
What?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Get out of here.
What?
Get out of here.
That's the new car.
It's,
I just
Yeah,
dropped in
never
the
gonna
car.
happen.
yeah.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
Yeah, man. I mean, but this is where you charge a ton of money because like the fact of the matter is like organization, like when you go through those exercises, like the data's stale. Like everything, like somebody's going to develop, and then like what does it take to maintain that lineage across the board?
That's exactly
and
right.
make it useful
Yeah.
versus heck, like charge an insane amount of money, and you're only going to run this once a month as an organization or something, so it takes 6 hours to run. You run it on a weekend, then you can compare snapshots or something.
Well,
right?
that's also like there's diffs here. Like I didn't
Dude.
even think of that, but that's another great option. Diff it, right? What changed
what
between what was and
changed?
what is now? Is there anything I need to worry
Right.
about?
right.
Were measures changing? Was the measure name's the same, but now the measure is different, right? What's going on there? Yeah, that'd be
Take my money.
huge.
I would. You're too good to me, Mike. You're too good to me.
You took it.
All right.
I don't
We've
deserve a
all
gift
gone
like
over
that.
budget for a secret
I don't
Santa.
deserve.
Yeah, these aren't the dollar store.
Yes, yes.
Here's your magic wand.
So we actually got the audience here on this one. So Dan is asking, does Super Lineage track notes on any transformations made on a field?
You would.
Yeah, it
Sure, like
would.
That's
Yeah,
where you would
yeah.
compare.
No
would
problem. It
you would
does
compare
everything.
Current to last run.
Yeah. What is it that Jerry
Like,
Jerry
this
Seinfeld
change.
does? No. He has that little high voice thing. No problem.
Yeah, this is fine.
It's
yeah,
fine.
It's not Italian. It's not Mario.
It does
It's
everything.
fine.
It does
Everything you want it to
It's
do.
a me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do whatever you want it to do. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So this is probably my dud gift. I'm just gonna say it now. All right. This is the dud
We
gift.
needed one.
We got to get one. I'm pretty sure you're gonna regift this one. So I'm trying to soften the blow here a bit by saying that. So here we go. Tommy's gift is we finally kill Power BI Desktop. It is disappeared. It is, but instead we have replaced the Power BI Desktop with a full Power BI service, exactly the same experience as Power BI Desktop, and it runs faster. It's like twice as fast as Desktop. It has Power Query already built into it. It has all the AI that you would ever want to need. It's inside the service. And so desktop has seen its time. It is no longer, you open a web browser on anything you want, an iPad, an iPhone. You can start building reports, making measures, all the things right in the service. And by the way, Tabular Editor 3 has been purchased by Microsoft and it is built into the tool. So you can click the TE button and inside a browser window, you can build all the things you need with TE3 connected to your data models.
Oh, Mike, you shouldn't have. Wow.
Yeah, I know you don't like it.
That's great.
I think this is where it's going at some point.
I'm so wow. This is great. This is
So wow.
This is
I'm
so wow.
doing the exact same. I just wasn't expecting that. That's really nice. Thank you. I'm only not regifting that. I'm returning that back to Walmart.
Here's
I
my
don't
hand,
wanna-
man. Here's my hand.
I'm throwing
you can throw it my way.
Yeah,
I'll catch it.
No,
We're getting to the set.
I'm sending that back and getting my money back. I'm getting the money for that.
Oh.
So
Thank you, but that's so nice of you. That's
See?
just really nice.
Wow.
people on YouTube like it. They
Oh my
like to
gosh.
get, so you can gift it to people. So I do think everything that we're seeing from the Microsoft side in general, patterns that I'm looking at, right? We've got Storage Explorer, we've got Purview, we've got all these tools. We've got Visual Studio. Visual Studio is now, you can do like Visual Studio in a browser window. Like you can just
limited.
But
It's all limited.
yeah, but we'll get there. I mean, like
Yeah, easy.
But we're not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Web
Yes.
3.0 will fix that
Those are
all that stuff.
easy
Whatever.
problems to solve.
Uh-huh.
man.
Exactly.
Come on.
But I do think so. One of the things that's really blocking here that I see right now is if you have companies that use like Google or Google Cloud Platform or even some of the AWS stuff, they're very much more Mac centric, and some companies are very like Mac centric on what they're doing, and so they really are blocked out of building things on desktop. They're getting virtual machines. It's just a bit more effort
Sure.
for them to get going. So I think there's an opportunity here where I've actually been playing with the Google Cloud Platform and loading data from Google Cloud into tabular models and then running reports and then embedding them. Pretty cool. Google Cloud Platform's got a pretty convincing story. It feels a lot like SQL Serverless. You're writing SQL. You can make materialized views of data. You can kind of do some things that are like Databricks. So I kind of like parts of it. But then they get to the Power BI desktop side and they're like, man, this is hard for us to do. So I would like to make it a bit easier for those people of the world to be able to just jump into a browser, do the modeling that they need to do. And I have to envision here, there's like that should simplify some of that experience. So
I'm going to try to end this conversation once and for all. I'm throwing the ring into the into the Lord of Mordor. So, how often do you use Excel, Mike?
I use it pretty good. I probably
A few times a week.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm testing things. I'm exporting some stuff. I'm doing some
How
data
often
testing
do you use the browser for
all the time.
Excel?
I'm just gonna say it because you're gonna ask me that question. I'm gonna use.
Oh,
I use the browser. Actually, believe it
For
or not,
what? For Excel?
believe it or not, I run part of my business on Excel on web online because I have to share it with multiple people, and so there's a couple
Yeah.
documents that I have where I need to edit, they need to edit, we need to look at the same
Yeah.
thing. So I started the file in desktop, I pushed it to the service, and I only touch or edit the document in the service because I'm collaborating. The collaboration part of that, super huge, right? That's
Okay.
big. And I guess I would say this too. If I'm giving you Power BI desktop in the service, you get cross collaboration featuring of that. Two people can be in the same report at the same time. You can build reports
This
together.
has Power Query, the whole shebang in there. It loads.
Yeah. This is amazing, Tommy. You don't get the power of you wait, Tommy. When this thing comes out for real, you're gonna be like, woo, this is the best thing ever.
I cannot wait. I'm
You're like,
looking
I
forward to
cannot-
eating my words. Yeah. Okay. So when that's the case. So, well, thank you. I really appreciate the thought on that. Thanks. Wow. Let me just push that to the side.
And literally then I pick it up and I give it to you, Mike, because that was my gift to you.
Oh, really?
Except it's for desktop in the service, man.
Yeah.
No way.
The embellishments of that though, like are just simplify the experience. Direct connect, even if it's just Azure objects, right?
Yep.
Like
Sure.
it, like
Yeah.
I'm in my desktop. I create a report, to those Azure objects, and it automatically creates the data sets for me.
Yep.
Change some of the painful things in the service. Admins share data sources. There are no owners of data sources where I have to reclaim and can't see things. And like that ridiculous experience that is what it is right now.
Yep.
And then as part of that, because it's desktop in the support, desktop in the service, right? You
Yep.
get full enterprise code deployment through fully deployed, deployment
Pipelines.
pipelines,
Yep.
all that, so you can manage
Auto
it all in
backups.
one place,
Right, you can see all your version
and
every time
push
you
and
make a
pull.
change.
Yep,
There's a version made. You can just kind of click a little ellipsis, and
yep.
boom, here's all the versions of that file just sitting around. Oh, I
Right,
don't know,
right on.
man. It's looking pretty
Just
good right
wait
now,
till your browser crashes.
I
dude.
don't know what you're
Or the
talking about, man. These
autosave.
systems,
There
it's
is some
just like I
there's
live
amazing
in
things that people
browsers.
do. Yeah.
I use Power Apps almost every day, and it's an amazing tool. That being said, Power BI is a little different.
Wait. Power Apps is building full-on applications
Yeah.
only in your browser.
Yes, I know. I'm aware because I do that all the time, but I'm frustrated by the interface because
I'm
of the
aware.
windows and the space. And also, again, Power BI works a little differently in terms of it's sometimes frustrating working on a browser to try to drag and drop the lack of keyboard shortcuts, or because if you click on something, you may close the browser, or you may go to a different tab because there's global settings for the application, which
All right.
is Edge or Chrome.
I'm gonna pull a Tommy on this one. When you're modeling things, do you get frustrated with the drag and drop experience of things that are in Power Apps today?
Yes,
Okay, just making sure.
absolutely. That's what I'm literally saying. So, like,
It's literally what I'm
I'm
describing.
really
Yeah.
just making sure I'm clear on that statement.
oh, I see what you did. Okay, yeah, I gotcha.
All right, and finally, since we're putting the top of the hour, Tommy, your last one is called the FCG. It's the fully customized goals.
Oh,
I knew someone was going with goals.
You
okay,
get
I knew this.
you get
was
RLS. You get a full hierarchical build interface where you match and
Yeah.
deploy those goals to all the business users and areas. So basically, this allows you to map all of your
Gosh.
area or corporate goals into that matrix that trickles down,
Yeah.
and you can assign specific users to goals, and then in that you automatically get the monitoring alerting through, for the groups at each level,
Oh my
and
gosh,
end
man.
user notifications of like, hey, you have a new goal, or here's how you go modify your goal in apps or
Right.
whatever the case may be.
No, I think that's huge because right now I'm working on a demo and I'm working on a new goal scorecard for 2022 for the organization, and both of them like it's once you set it up, it's pretty like it's the result I'm really impressed with, again, both in the demo and the actual like real world application. But setting it up individually, especially for the subsets, I mean, you literally have to recreate the wheel every single time and make sure everything's aligned from the rule settings, the statuses. You can't assign teams, you can only assign a user, which is really weird if you have so no, that I think is huge. So I'm absolutely using that. Yeah. So thank you. That's a great gift. Well, I have a special gift for both of you that I saved up, not from Bath and Body Works, but
I was gonna,
Oh
wow.
man.
yeah.
What
Oh
are you
man.
saying? Like,
So
we're not even in person.
yeah.
I'm using.
So
I
this
need
is
I
this
could
is
always
the
use a little more
surprise
lotion.
For those of you who don't know, I just pulled out the only thing I could find for Christmas downstairs was a Bath and Body Works Christmas bag. Thanks to my wife. Anyways, what's in it is Power BI Designer Redux. So this is basically the final solution for the designer tool that we are all looking for. It is basically Tabular Editor, but for the visual side of things. Let me explain some of the features.
This is a good one.
It's a full featured visual editing tool, from editing the alignment. So it's like the rule stick, except you can basically not even go into the desktop. So if Power BI is on the service, great, you can use this. Basically, the alignment, the drag and drop is so much easier. Alignment settings. It's a full theme generator or preview for if you want to configure your certain theme file settings, if you want to see what that looks like for the line chart. You can also map certain data types or data points to a color. So if I want the
Whoa.
USA to be red, to
Yep.
blue, I also have macros in here. So if I want to do certain things where I want to like change all the titles to center align, or I want to do the titles to left align, or do like, you know what, I don't like that the titles being that dark. I really would rather all of them be a certain color. I
Yep.
can have a better color palette to choose what they each look like, and I can see what different colors look like. I also have alignment settings, and also I have automated title and label settings. And what I mean by that is you can actually write some DAX code, or even set up where if I just like on a drill through page. Like if I want the dynamic titles or dynamic labels,
Mhm.
I can do that within this tool in a much easier way,
And
rather than
it's
creating a measure for each.
yeah, so you have to create one measure. It just
Right.
works.
It will kind of create like an auto-generated DAX, from like the DAX generator.
Mhm.
Will basically say for these 5 data points, if this changes, do a dynamic label. But the best part that I think you guys are all gonna love, it has window panes. So if I want, yeah. So with the
That's a
window
winner.
panes, again, with the titles, like
You
you
can
can
pop
actually
things in and
set
out, pop it out, pop it
you
in,
can
pop it
actually
out.
set default title names. So rather than like the, sales by region,
Mhm.
if you wanted to say regional sales kind of thing, like basically set in your default auto population, it will do that for you. And the window
Ooh.
panes. Yeah. So you can kind of set if I don't change it, here's what I want it to say. And then the window panes where you can actually pop out the color, pop out the title. So I can have like on the very top how I want to edit all my titles and do the global editing for that. So the Power BI Designer Redux, and that is the gift to all.
I like it.
That's cool, but dude, I did that. Just give me another idea. Are there any applications out there like you could peel a browser window? Like if the desktop was in the service and you're
No.
like, open new window with the properties pane,
I've been
right?
asking
And I have a different
Microsoft.
browser window,
Yeah.
like, but it's tied to the same report. Then you
I've
could
been
have
asking,
windows everywhere.
yeah, I've been asking Microsoft for 2 years for Power
Probably not.
Apps to have a window pane for the formula editor, because right now if I'm creating a function or doing something in Power Apps, it's basically in the same window. So it's really hard if I just see like I need to grab that label, or
Yeah.
I'm writing very long script in
Yeah.
Power Apps.
Yep.
It takes up the whole window, and that's the most frustrating thing. I need something where I'm writing and I can test it out and then see what it does, rather than minimizing the window, the formula pane,
Yep.
and then testing it out. So this allows you to actually do some of those editing where you can have the formula editor. And yeah, so now you have 3 screens: Tableau Editor 4, Power BI Desktop, and the Power BI Designer.
I love it. It looks good. I like it. I think those are all good gifts. Well, aside from Michael's one dud gift, I think we're good for
We did all
today.
right.
So
We did
for
all
for
right.
those of you who are listening, we appreciate you guys jumping on. Thank you for participating in our very fun Secret Santa this year. Hopefully, some of these features are things that you would be loving or would like to do. If you haven't found these ideas on ideas.powerbi.com, right, you can actually go out and vote for or make up some of these ideas. If you like this, Microsoft, if you're listening, hit us up. We're free anytime.
Yeah.
We will take a call whenever.
We all have insomnia, so
No problem. We will happily discuss with you these features, and so you can put it in your backlog so we can have it for next quarter. So,
A big Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
everyone.
yeah,
Thank you, gentlemen. I hope you enjoy some time with your families.
yes,
And
yes,
thank you very much.
we're gonna keep going. Like we'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
here next week Tuesday, but
live.
We're
I
weird.
hope you have a
We-
wonderful.
We spend our
holiday.
holidays and we continue
Yeah.
doing Power BI because we enjoy it that much. So even though we're not working, we're still having fun with Power BI. So for those of you who listen to us, thank you very much. We appreciate your loyal listening. If you don't, do us a favor as a loyal listener, as someone who just enjoys the show, please go out and just share it with one other person. Just let someone else know you found some value. Tommy's so funny. Mike's a goofball. Whatever you want to say, share it with one other person so that maybe they can enjoy the podcast as well. And
Yeah,
Tommy,
give them the gift of explicit measures and
yeah.
ask them if they like it or
This is the
they
gift
would
that
use
keeps
it,
on giving
or if they would
something, so.
regift it.
Or regift
Yeah.
it. Actually, I'm telling you, just regift
Yeah.
it to everyone you see. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
If you're following us, Tommy, where can you find the podcast and how do you get to subscribe to it?
Yeah, so like I said, and to Mike's point, spread the word for this. No one's doing an episode like this on Power BI. So if you think these are good ideas, spread the word so we can actually get them, so they can be real.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're listening live right now, and thanks to everyone on this near Christmas Day, you can subscribe to the episodes, all the episodes that we have now on Apple and Spotify. Leave a rating there. We really appreciate it. Really helps out the podcast.
Yep.
If you are listening, join the live conversation. Find Power BI tips on LinkedIn and YouTube for all the new episodes. And then probably follow me on Twitter just for new links, just in case it happens, because sometimes it happens.
Yeah. Today we had some rough stuff in the morning.
So sometimes the link changes.
Make sure you subscribe because we may go
Right,
live for
subscribe.
5 seconds and then turn off and then start again. So
if that ever happens, subscribe so you can go, okay, then refresh your browser
Yes.
and look for a new link.
yes.
But yeah, join the conversation. We have a great community. Thanks for everyone joining live. Yeah.
Kevin said he is buying the family an explicit measures gift card. They will return that gift so fast. Just be careful. This is dangerous stuff. Thank you all. Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday, everyone. We appreciate you. Have a good holiday and a good break.
See you Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday.